This next story is really crazy. This Shoshana Struk, I started seeing this a couple days ago, and it just sounded so crazy that I didn't jump on it right away because I wanted to dig a little bit more into it. So, the situation is this daughter of a very high ranking minister in Israel, I think they specifically represent settlers, has been releasing videos claiming that her parents were ritualistically abusing her and selling her out to other people for the same purpose. And then all of a sudden ends up dead. And she had said repeatedly that she was not suicidal and stuff like that. Daughter of National Missions Minister Orit Strok found dead. Police investigate case. The circumstances surrounding Shoshana's death remain unclear. She was reportedly found dead in her home in northern Israel. Police have opened an investigation into the case. Strok posted the notice of her daughter's death in a Sunday Facebook post, updating with a broken heart about the passing of our beloved daughter, she wrote. In recent months, Shoshana had been publicly speaking about both sexual abuse from her parents and ritual abuse that she said she experienced as a child. This is in the Jerusalem Post. She released multiple social media posts describing abuse from her parents, along with testimonies about being forced to take part in sexual ritual abuse. Starting from age 2.5, my parents took me to ceremonies in which I was programmed and trained using drugs, hypnosis, and sexual abuse, she said in February's video. When I was 13, my father started pimping me in Tel Aviv, making money off my back. The abuse continued until an older age. In another post in January, Shoshana described the ritual abuse and conversion therapy she said she experienced growing up. Yeah, that was the other thing, is that this is her post about it. She is talking about how I guess her parents did not accept her sexuality and they did something surgical. You know what I'm saying? When she was 13, which impacted her ability to have healthy sex with a woman and made me hate my sexual identity and myself to the harshest level possible. That was the thing that I think that she said circumcised in the thing, but wow. Let me see. Rabbi Tao is somebody else that she's naming in here. My father and Rabbi Tao, the two persons who forced me to participate in these ceremonies over and over again, rituals in which I am forced to hurt other women, which in order to erase my identity as a lesbian. She says they were conversion therapies. That is so fucked up. In recent days, memories of my conversion therapy I underwent as a part of the sadistic cult I grew up in have been coming back to me again and again, she wrote. Police were reportedly unable to verify her claims, they said. Of course, if her parents are in the government, women's organization in the country have called for a more expensive investigation to be carried out, stating that the case was not conducted properly by the police and that Shoshana was not granted adequate protection. An organization for women called on the government to take action. We cannot give up on her demand. The duty of the state is now clear to investigate, examine, and uncover the truth. How is it possible that the horrifying accounts of this severe ritual abuse did not shake the system in the entire country? We believe in you and we will always believe you, or we believe you and we will always believe you, the organization stated. A silent protest was held in memory of Shoshana in the afternoon at Zion Square in Jerusalem's city center. Organizers stated ahead of the memorial that they will demand real change and justice for her. They also noted that the police did not carry out the investigation thoroughly and did not provide her protection. Social services did not respond. Those attending the gathering in Shoshana's memory held up signs reading, "We believe you." The authorities abandoned Shoshana and continue to abandon children and women in her situation, those at the protest said. We're here because we want to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. Shoshana's friend, who has also testified as a victim, demanded that more be done. We spoke with her that morning. She didn't want to die. She wanted a home and security. What? And this is all being reported. If this nation doesn't wake up, we're next in line, she added. And like, she better be protected. Following the announcement of Shoshana's death, Prime Minister Netanyahu and ministers expressed support for Struk and the family. Netanyahu's office stated that the prime minister spoke with Struk and received deep sorrow of the news of her daughter's passing. The Prime Minister conveyed his heartfelt condolences in his name and in the name of his wife, and asked to strengthen Minister Struk and her family during this difficult time. She was buried in Hebron a day after she was murdered. Activists knew she was not allowed to come near activists that knew her were not allowed to come near the funeral. I guess this was one of the vigils. If they tell you I committed suicide, don't believe it, she says. If they tell you I was involved in an accident, don't believe it. I am present, I exist, and I intend to stay. This was a couple months ago. So for the past couple months, she's been putting this stuff out there. This something really sketchy with this. There's no way. She's only 34 years old and they're not putting any kind of cause of death or anything. That's really strange. They're not translated. They do have subtitles. I found it. So I could read it. It's only like 2 minutes long. So let's take a look.
Hey,
She says, I grew up in the Israeli settlement of Hebron. Starting from age 2.5, my parents took me to pedophile ceremonies in which I've been programmed, trained. The article had some of this. So they said that was where she said the hypnosis and drug. Yeah, she does get into different stuff in here. In here, she says that through this abuse, they created different parts or different identities. And now she's got dissociative identity disorder, I believe, DID. When I was 13, my father started pimping in Tel Aviv, made money off my back. The abuse continued. What happens now, even though I've already published it and told my story, my father keeps perpetrating against me. He came to my apartment. I've rented a place on my own. I stayed there alone. He came to the apartment and abused me again. He also brought another person with him who he is training become my next handler, and my father will pass away. Because this is how it works. They pass it from generation to generation. Since the last assault, I left my apartment. I have no home. For now, I found a few good people who are housing me each for a couple days. But I have no way of financing myself since I am dealing with dissociative identity disorder. I'm in a very difficult mental condition, and there is real danger that I'll end up in the streets. I think it is very important to help me so I could receive mental support, so I could have financial security. I'd really appreciate your support so I could fulfill my dream and also help other women who have been ritually abused. Currently in a very difficult situation, but I have a master's degree in psychology and I have a dream to help other people. Yeah, this is the 34-year-old woman that died mysteriously in the past couple days. And she started putting out these videos a couple months ago. And she said in multiple posts that she was not suicidal. There were a couple of other videos that she put out as well, but they did not have subtitles. Yeah, this is happened in the past couple days. Let's see when this Jerusalem Post story was published. Yeah, this was published March 15th, and there's still been questions about this.